Talk to me. Samantha, how was your week? I don't know, Dad, it was kind of tough. Billy and Ellen broke up, and Ellen's kind of mad at me because she saw me talking to Billy in the cafeteria. And you remember that sculpture I was working on? Well, it was a unicorn, and the horn broke off, so now it's a zebra, okay? But I still think I'm gonna get an A, right? Mason, how was your week? Well, Dad, you know, it was kind of tough. Joe, he's kind of a jerk. Actually, he stole some cigarettes from his mom. He wanted me to smoke them, but I said no because I knew what a hard time you had quitting smoking, Dad. How about that? Is that so hard?
That's the same for Boyhood. Ethan Hawke there. We have Len Archibald and Dave Adams in to review it. I want to see it just based on that. I like that scene, and you made a good compliment about this movie. You don't realize they're acting. You don't realize it's a movie.
This is not a star-turn flick for any of the performers. In fact, two of them that play the young children, Eller Coltrane and Lorelei Linklater, were, I don't know, 6, 7, 8 when they started. So these are not seasoned actors, obviously, but they were very, very good. And this film engages us in a way that no other film in a long time has, at least in my experience, done.
Yeah, and the filming of this was an interesting way they did this, right?
Yeah, you know, Richard Linklater, the director who's done the Before, Sunrise, Sunset, and Midnight movies with Ethan Hawke, basically assembled a cast of actors and filmed them over a 12-year period. Okay. And they would, I guess they would get together for 2 weeks once a year and filmed this basically the story of Eller Coltrane, who plays Mason, the main character, his life over from grade 1 to his senior year in high school and getting into college. Yeah. But it's a technique that could have been seen as gimmicky.
Yeah.
But
it could have backfired easily.
It could have easily backfired. I mean, if Coltrane wasn't a good actor or anything like that, you know, it would have been a disaster.
Yeah, it's a real risk to engage or to undertake a project like this. And it has absolutely paid off. It's a splendid film.
Yeah, and the plot was very engaging. Do you like the story, right?
You cannot not relate to these characters, at least I'm speaking for myself now. Len and I have both seen it twice, and I presume that Len would say, as I do, seeing it the second time, I got lots more from it.
Yeah,
right.
It's a rich film with all kinds of pleasures in it for film lovers.
Is it character driven? Is there a deep story in this, or?
You know, I would say it's more character driven than plot driven. Okay. This is a kind of a slice of life coming of age story, where we're seeing you know, Mason grow up as his parents fight and divorce, and he goes into all these different home situations and going through the awkwardness of being a young prepubescent boy.
Is really well done.
Yeah,
it's a splendid performance on the part of the two children who are in the film, and Ethan Hawke and Patricia Arquette, who play his mom. They were both very, very good.
Yeah.
And we see them, of course, change over the course of 12 years, but not as dramatically as the young people do.
That would be so tough, I would think, that I have to remember back to a year ago when we were last here doing. I mean, but they apparently pulled that off, right?
Absolutely. Yeah. This is not an episodic film. The film doesn't tell you now we're in part 2 and part 3. Yeah. It just flows together, and sometimes it takes a few minutes to figure out. Oh, this is the next year. This is 12,
where they are in the timeline. And
12 months later.
Yeah.
It doesn't. It requires your attention, this film. Yeah. And because it's so engaging, I think that's not an issue.
Yeah, right? This isn't a movie that's going to hold your hand and tell you, you know, plot by plot what's going on. Right. But it like David said, I mean, it's engaging enough that you would realize what's going on. And for my own personal experience, seeing what you know, some of the events that happen with Mason, the scene where they're in the garage and they're sharing beers and talking about girls and everything. I mean, those are moments in my life that I've done and related to.
Before we go to the Golden Globes or the Oscars, we go to the Lennys, obviously. How many Lennys?
It's 5 Lennys. It's probably the best movie of the year.
Wow.
I would not be surprised if it is nominated for Best Picture. If it isn't, I'm going to be
it surely should be.
Sure.
Yeah.
Let's get your final words, Dave.
And here they are. 12 years in the making, Boyhood breaks new ground. Incredibly risk-taking. It's clearly Oscar-bound.
All right. High praise. Thank you, guys. Appreciate it.
You heard it here.
Yeah, that's right.